But in the present context of the modern Tea Party, what's kind of interesting when I did the research for the book was that there's always been this kind of tension within the Republican Party. For 30 years, there was kind of a tidy relationship between social conservatives who provided kind of the shock troops or the foot soldiers for big business Republicans in exchange for support on opposition to gay marriage or abortion. But many economic conservatives weren't comfortable with this arrangement, and they wanted a populist movement based on limited government, limited taxation. So they kind of developed, or at least nurtured, this kind of myth about the Tea Party because they wanted their own kind of story of American beginnings. Instead of this idea that America was a Christian nation, they wanted to kind of cultivate this idea that America is essentially an anti-tax country, that our birth, our founding story, had something to do with just opposing taxation. So in any case, what's interesting about the anti-Obama Tea Party is that it has its roots in this idea that Republicans could conjure up their own populist movement. So if you look in the early 90s, tobacco lobbyists were concerned about the excise tax that was proposed to pay for health reform under Clinton. So they went out to a bunch of PR firms and said, we can't go out there as Philip Morris and oppose Clinton care. We need a third-party validator. So they actually manufactured a Boston Tea Party movement. They had rallies in Kentucky and some other places that just didn't catch on. Again, in the late 90s, you see a bunch of billionaires, Dick Armey, doing a national campaign to enact the flat tax to replace the progressive income tax. So they hired organizers. They went up to Boston. They threw tea in the harbor as a symbolic act to kind of rekindle this Tea Party idea. It just didn't catch on. A lot of people just made fun of them. If you read CNN transcripts from 1998 or 1997, the hosts are basically just laughing at Dick Armey. And we see this over and over again from the Koch brothers, from a lot of these actors that are now very powerful, or at least very recognized. They're attempting Tea Parties in Michigan, North Carolina. They're actually providing cash grants of $5,000 to folks all the way up through 2007, 2008 to go out and start bold action and anti-government Tea Party activism. It just doesn't catch on. So what's interesting about the 2009 Tea Party that finally took hold is that it was a combination of factors.